Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to build a realistic magazine system in Unreal Engine. Unlike traditional shooter ammo systems, where extra bullets just pull into a big reserve number, this system tracks individual magazines. Each mag saves its exact bullet count when you reload. That means, if you reload early with half a clip left, you aren't throwing those bullets away. That mag goes back into your inventory, half full, ready to be used later. This is awesome for tactical shooters, survival games, or any project where you want players to actually manage their resources and think twice before hitting the reload button after firing 2 shots. I will be setting up the logic in Blueprints, and I'm using the first-person arena shooter variant, so I don't have to set up shooting from scratch, as this video will be focusing primarily on the magazine system. With that being said, let's dive right into it. To start, I'm going to open the content drawer and navigate to the shooter weapon base. Then I'm going to go to the fire bullet function. After that, I'm going to make variables. First one is reload time, which is a float and is visible. Then I'm going to make is reloading, which is a boolean. Then magazine array, which is an integer and is an array. And finally, I'm going to make maximum magazines held. And then I'm going to make it single. And make sure maximum magazines held and reload time is both visible. Then I'm going to put all of these into the ammo component. This will be important later because we can customize the reload time and the maximum magazines held for each different weapon. I'll fire a bullet. I'm just going to move this back. Then I'm going to hold B and press left click. I'm going to make a branch, and off true, I'm going to put it into the sequence. Next, I'm going to get current bullets and is reloading. Of current bullets, I'm going to do a greater than symbol, and it's going to be greater than 0. After that, I'm going to make an AND boolean and plug that into the condition of the branch. With the is reloading, I'm going to make a not boolean. So it's when you're not reloading. And I'm going to plug this into the AND. Then I'm going to go down here and says if the clip is empty, reload. So we're going to just delete this part so it doesn't automatically reload when there's no bullets left. Next, I'm going to double click on this update weapon HUD, and then I'm going to click on it, and in the inputs I'm going to create a new input and call it reserve magazines. Then I'm going to make it an integer, compile and save, and then we can just close that. Then we're going to get the magazine array, and off that we're going to search length, and then plug that into the reserve magazines. And then I'm just going to compile and then save. Next, I'm going to go to the blueprint of the character itself. And I'm going to create a new variable and call it can switch weapons. And then we're just going to go up here where it says swap weapon, and we're going to create a new branch. Just plug that in. And then we'll do can switch weapons get and put into the condition of the branch. So you cannot swap weapons if you are reloading, so that's for later. Back in BP shooter weapon base, I'm gonna go to an empty space on the graph, the event graph. Gonna search custom event, gonna make custom event, and it would be called server reload. Oh, hang on. I'm just naming this server reload because we're gonna make another event later, just called reload. So it's just to differentiate from the reload and this. But you can name it whatever you want, it doesn't really matter. Alright, I'm going to drag and get current bullets. Then I'm going to get the mag size. and then we're going to do a less than, and then plug those in, and make sure it's this way around. So it's current bullets is less than mag size, not mag size is less than current bullets. Then I'm going to put this into a branch. And this is useful if anyone has kind of an OCD thing. But if you see it like off center a little bit, you can just press on this and then press on this and then press Q and then it will align. Then I'm going to get current bullets in again. And then we'll do a greater than symbol. And just leave that at 0. And then we'll make another branch of true. We'll then get current bullets again. And then the magazine array. And off magazine array, we can just search add. And then we'll get this. Just plug that into the true. And then put the current bullets into where it says 0. Next, off magazine array, we can just search length. And off length, we can do a greater than symbol. And leave that at 0. And then we'll create a branch off of this. Plug this into the condition. Oh, and also make sure the false goes into just the branch and not the add. So we can just add reroute node, so just double click on the line. Off true, we'll set is reloading. We'll set it to true. And then we'll drag in reload time. And we'll get a delay. So basically this means that when you reload, reloading is true. So that means in the shooter character, that means you cannot swap weapons. And here we'll do the reload time of whatever you set the reload time of the individual weapons to be. So let's say if you have an assault rifle, you can just change the reload time to say 3 seconds. Then if you have like a minigun or a really heavy weapon, you can change the reload time to like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Off magazine array, we can just search get a reference. Wait, sorry, no, it's get a copy. Yeah, that's it. So get a copy, and then we'll just search set current bullets, and then we'll do this after the completed of the delay. And then we can just organize that a little bit. Then we can just search off magazine array, remove index. Then we'll search get owner. And off that we can just search update weapon HUD. So that's just updating the HUD. Then we can just get the current bullets off of set, drag into there. Magazine size is just mag size. And then reserve magazines will just be the magazine array. Then we'll get the length. Then just plug it into there. After the update weapon HUD, we can just search get is reloading. And we'll set it to false. Then we'll get play character. And then cast to the character. Then we'll just drag off of here and search set can switch weapons. And then we'll set that to true. Oh, and also we can just comment this out. So just highlight everything and press C. And I'll just do reloading. Then we'll just go to initialization. And then let's just drag this back. And then hold an S and then press left click and we'll get a sequence. So we can just do the already existing stuff there. And then we'll just do our stuff from then on so it's cleaner. So off of then one, we can just search for loop, the one under flow control, and then set the first index to 1, and then we'll just drag in maximum magazines held, and then we'll just do a subtract node, and then subtract 1. And then we'll just plug that into the last index. So if this wasn't subtracting 1, then that would be like it. Then at first it would say 5 instead of 4 because you already have 1 loaded in to the chamber. So it wouldn't make sense if it would just say 5 because that's just saying you have 5 magazines left after this one that you already have loaded. So we just set it to 4. From the loop body, let's just grab the magazine array. We just do the add and just put this backwards a little bit. And then we'll grab the mag size and put it into there. And then I guess we can just comment this out as set magazine count. Next we'll go into BP shooter character or whatever character blueprint you have open. And then we'll double click onto update bullet UI. And we'll add a new input. We'll just name this reserve magazines. And then we'll make it an int. Then compile and save. And then we'll just close it. And then we can just grab the weapon. Like see how these are coming off of the weapon. We could just do that. We'll just grab get magazine array. And then we'll search length. Really surprising, I know. And then we'll put this into reserve magazines. Then we'll just make sure here we can just plug this into this. Next, we will go into content inputs actions. We'll make a new input. This IA reload. We just go into IMC default and then add a new mapping of the reload that we just added. And then set it to whatever you want. So I guess we could just go for R. Let's just save that. Then back in the shooter character, we'll just add a new variable called has reloaded. Just leave that as a boolean. And then we'll just go into a blank space. So I'll just go over here, I guess. And then we'll just grab the reload, the IA underscore reload. And then we'll make sure not to do triggered, but started, because triggered is updated every single frame that you're holding down the button. So that would mean you would be reloading like 1,000 times. But started is just once. So off started, we'll just go set has reloaded. We'll set it to true. And then we'll go set can switch weapons. And we'll set that to false. And then after that, we'll just get current weapon. And then off that, we can just search server reload and plug that in. And then compile and save. And make sure to just clean it up and just comment it out so then you know what it actually is. Because you don't want to come back to it and just think, what the hell did I even just put? So this is just making your life like 100 times easier. Then after that, we'll just go to the UI, whatever UI you have. And then we'll grab a new text and we'll just drag it over the overlay. We'll just name it reserve mags text. And then we'll have it as nothing, so no text, because you don't want to have just a placeholder text on your screen when you don't even have a weapon yet. So then I guess we can just position it however you want, and then make sure the tick is variable, because that's very important. And then we'll go to the event graph of the UI, and then we'll make a custom event, and then we'll just name it update reserve mags. And then we'll do an input. We just name it reserve mags and just an integer. We'll just drag in the reserve mags text, and then we'll just grab set text. So set text in brackets. And then we'll just grab this reserve mags, and then we'll just make it to text int, and I'll just drag this into there, and then drag this into there. After that, we can just go into the play controller, and then here we can just make sure that the UI actually updates, because right now if we just play the game, then the text will never appear because it's not set to anything. So we'll just go from here, then we'll just do update reserve mags, and we just plug the ends of that into here, and then reserve mags into reserve mags. And now we can just go to the weapons. Now, like, this is just the last part, so we could just change the different, say, reload time. So of the grenade launcher, we can just set the reload time to like 7 and maximum magazines held of 3, because it's like a really heavy weapon, you would say. And then for like the pistol, you would just make it like 5 maximum magazines and a reload time of say 2. So we can just compile and save that. So now if I play the game and pick up the pistol, you can see it says 4 down the bottom. Actually, let me just kill these guys really quickly, because they are really annoying. So now if I reload, it says 3 now. And so I can just continue shooting. And then let's just get it down to, I guess, 1. So then there's 2 magazines left. So we'll just make this like that. So just 5 left. Then we'll reload. We'll put this down to say 2. Then if we reload, we can see that magazine was kept and it wasn't put into like a pool where it was just the 5 and the 2 just combined into 1 magazine, but they're just different magazines. So now if I just get rid of all of it, then it'll say 0 magazines left, as we only have 1, which is in the chamber, and that's it. And then when it's all ran out, we can't reload anymore. So yeah, that's how you do it. Now you can open any individual weapon, blueprint child, tweak its reload time and maximum magazines held in the details panel and test it out in-game. If you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more Unreal Engine tips, and drop a comment if you ran into any issues. Thanks for watching, and happy game developing.